So imagine you're on a dock and you see someone struggling in the water. Your friend says, "Hey, he looks like he's drowning." You say to her, there's nothing you can do for those people. He chose to swim there. He just needs to try harder to save himself." If you can see how ridiculous it is to stand back and accuse a drowning person of making bad choices and tell them they just need to try harder to not drown, hopefully you can see how ridiculous and incredibly cruel it is to say the same thing of someone who's in a life-threatening struggle with a drug or alcohol addiction. I'm Dr. Jill, and I'm an addictions doctor. Some of you watching this might think that addiction is a choice, and in the past that was the medical opinion. This is part of what's led to so much stigma around addictions. But like many things in medicine, with more time and research, our understanding has evolved. Now, before an addiction has developed, choice is involved, of course. Everyone has their own reasons for using a substance the first time, from fun experimentation at a party to attempts to treat psychological or physical pain. But the choice involved in the first few times of using a drug is very different than the compulsion to use when you are in the stranglehold of addiction. At that point, people still use a drug even knowing the next dose might kill them. Typically, the dopamine reward system is how our brains reinforce behaviors that are good for us as individuals and as a species. We feel good when we eat food. We feel good when we have sex. Dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, is let loose in the brain, and it's like a little whisper in the ear that says, "That's nice, let's do it again soon." But repeated use of a drug, for example, can hijack that whole system and lead to rewiring in the brain so that the only thing that feels good is the use of that drug. And the dopamine doesn't whisper anymore, it screams in your ear, "Give me more!" This rewiring of the brain leads to needing more and more of the drug just to get to the same effect, and not using it can lead to severe withdrawal symptoms. These changes also affect the part of the brain that's responsible for impulse control, judgment, and for making choices. We can actually see these changes to the brain with advanced imaging techniques. Please see the link in my bio to learn more about the science behind addictions. Addictions are complex, and our understanding of them will continue to evolve. Yes, there are changes to the brain, but we also know that other factors are at play. Everyone has a unique set of strengths and weaknesses, belongs to different communities that can help or hinder them, and we're born with different sets of unearned advantages and unjust disadvantages. If you're someone who's stuck in the outdated idea that people with addictions are just making bad choices, you're not just on the wrong side of science, you are on the wrong side of compassion. When someone is actually drowning, it never matters whose fault it is. We rush to save them. It shouldn't be any different for someone struggling with an addiction. Just be kind, folks. Goodbye, everyone.